Hello, 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 brothers and sisters. How you doing? How you doing? Your brother Tony is in the house. It is dinner time, so come on in, come on in, come on in. We're about to approach the over the hump day, but I got some good soul food for all of you all this evening. So come in, invite your guests, my brothers and sisters, because tonight dinner we're gonna have some very, very good hot soul food this evening. So invite some more of your friends, my brothers and sisters, because the table is set so we can have some communion time today, my brothers and sisters. Don't forget to bring some of your friends. How you doing? Mr. Bryson, how you doing? My grandson, how you doing? How you doing? So get ready, my brothers and sisters. We're gonna have a good show this evening. You don't want to miss it. As you know, I talk about relationships, so get ready because we're going to have a good show this evening. We're going to allow a few more people an opportunity to come in because I don't want no one to miss what we are going to talk about this evening. So get ready for a very, very good show this evening, my brothers and sisters. Get ready. We're about to jump into it shortly. Well, my brothers and sisters, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Come on in, come on in. Your brother Tony is in the house, and I look forward to talking to you all every evening, Monday through Thursday. That's Monday through Thursday. Get ready at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will jump in shortly every Sunday through Thursday right after 7 p.m. So get ready at 7 p.m. I'll be wanting you to bring your popcorn and your soda and get ready. You can have a little bit before dinner time because you know I'm going to come with the good soul food, my brother and sister. With that said, if this is your first time looking at this broadcast, my brothers and sisters, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tony M. Toomer, and I talk about and speak on relationships. When I talk about relationships, I talk about the relationship of that between a man and a woman that should be serious, and the seriousness should translate to the commitment, and the commitment should grow into a covenant relationship. So my brothers and sisters, when it comes to a relationship, a man and a woman needs to be serious. That man and woman needs to be committed, verbally committed, so he or she will not have to guess what position he or she is in. And that man and woman should think about doing it God's way, the covenant part. That's going ahead, stop playing and get married. How you doing, Sister Flo Harvey Martin? And when I say relationships, my brother and sister, I look at it from a biblical standpoint. When I say biblical, I believe strongly in a relationship from the Word of God. When you look in the book of Genesis, that's the first case of a relationship between humans, that being a man and a woman. God had a unique relationship with the man Adam. Shortly thereafter, he had a relationship with the woman Eve, and he brought that man and woman together as one. How you doing, Sister Lisa? He brought that man and woman together as one. And in the presence of God, the man Adam said in regard to Eve, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, I should call her woman because she came from man. Now, if there's some of you that came here for dinner tonight and you have another preference as far as the relationship, I encourage you to still eat some of the food that I'm about to feed to you. You have a free choice. You have a free will. You can do whatever you choose to do, but you look at this particular broadcast and you're sitting at the dinner table, I basically talk about the relationship between a man and woman from a biblical standpoint on different topics. So with that said, we're about to get into tonight's broadcast. How you doing, Sister Teresa Thomas? Now, tonight's broadcast, my brother and sister, it is definite signs that he or she is seeing someone other than you. That's right, my brother and sister. Definite signs that he or she is seeing someone other than you. How you doing, Sister Yolanda? There are some surefire signs, my brother and sister. Brother, if you're interested in a particular woman and there's something gnawing on you on the inside, I'm going to show you that you are not wrong. How you doing, Sister Angela Bronner? Sister, if there's a particular type of man that you're dealing with and you have some tingling, uneasy things going on the inside of you, you are right, and I'm going to prove that you are right. Brother and sister, you are not a fool, okay? Let's get that established. When you have the uneasy things going on inside of you, it's a warning. So pay attention to the warning, my brothers and sisters. Pay attention to these warnings that I'm about to. That's right, Sister Flo. Cook up something, you know. So all of you that coming in, it's dinner time, and we got some good hot soul food tonight. If any of you want to make any comments around the dinner table, go ahead and conversate, you know, because we family here, and you could invite some more of your brothers, well, your family and other friends, you could bring them here to the table. Now, my brother and sister, when it comes to a relationship, brother, when it comes to a relationship between you and a woman, sister, when it comes to a relationship between you and a man, never, 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 ever, never go by your feelings when it comes to being in a healthy relationship with a man, sister, or brother, with a woman. You should go by discernment. That's right, Angela. Angela said she hungry now. Angela said I'm taking too long. That's when it comes to good food. I got to take a little time, and of course, hot. It's gonna get cool, and then it's gonna get hot. So get ready. Now, remember, my brother and sister, you should go by your discernment. You should never go by your feelings. It's what's called discernment. You need to be, my brother. You need to be, my sister. You need to be equipped with what is called wisdom and discernment in life in general. But we're talking about relationships. So you need to utilize your wisdom, my brother, and your discernment, my sister. So the question is, why be a fool? Why be a fool? Now, what is wisdom? Wisdom, my brothers, and wisdom, my sister, is defined as the element of personal character that enables one to distinguish the wise from the unwise on how to apply knowledge. When we go to the book of James, we go to James 1:5. Again, that James 1:5. James 1:5 from God's word, it say, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gave generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. In life, my brother and sister, we supposed to ask God for wisdom. Thank you, Sister Teresa. We supposed to ask God for wisdom. We don't go to God asking God, give me smarts. We don't go to God saying, give me intellect. We go to God to ask for wisdom. What is wisdom? Wisdom is the ability to utilize the Spirit of God that's in you so you can see things from God's perspective. You don't want to look at things from a man perspective. You don't want to look at things from a woman perspective when it comes to life in general, especially when it comes to a relationship. So you need wisdom. Now, what is discernment? Discernment, my brother, and discernment, my sister, it is defined as to distinguish between things. You have to have the ability to distinguish between things. The condition of understanding, you have to be very perceptive, and you have to know how to use discernment. It is in judging objectively. So when you have discernment, my brother and sister, you want to cut through the crap. You want to see how things really are. You don't want to feel how things are. You want to see how things are. You want to see it clearly. You want sound foundation when it comes to a relationship. You don't want to be in a position of being a fool. Speaking of a fool, what is a fool? When I go to the dictionary, the word fool is defined as a person who acts unwisely or imprudently, a silly person. That is a fool. You could have a fool that's 20 years old. You could have a fool that's 30, 40, 50, 60, and so on in life. You could have fools at different ages. So in order to not be a fool, you have to have wisdom. And when you have wisdom, you have knowledge. And when you have knowledge, you have understanding, will give you discernment. So you could be able to distinguish between what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is unwise, and what is wise. So you, my brother, and you, my sister, you need to know the definite sign that he or she is seeing someone other than you. Now, there are two types of people, my brothers and sisters. The two types of people that, and hopefully you in the right category. Now, the two types of people in this world, my brothers and sisters, is the person that has wisdom and the person that has, that's a fool. Those are two types of people that's in this world. The two types again is a one that has wisdom and a one that's a fool. When we go to 1 Corinthians 2:14, 1 Corinthians 2:14, it talk about these two types of people, okay, from God's word. It say, the natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God. Who is the natural person? The natural person is a worldly man or a worldly woman that's classified as a fool. And a lot of you brothers and sisters, you have seen fools walking around you. And that's what it means by the natural person. This is a worldly man or a worldly woman. They cannot accept the things of God. So some of the things that I be telling you, brothers and sisters, if someone just by chance stop by my show and listen to what I say, they might think this foolishness. They don't understand because that's how worldly people think. When you start talking about things from a spiritual perspective, they can't grasp what I'm saying. They will never grasp what I'm saying. The only time a person going to grasp what I'm saying, the man and woman has to have the Spirit of God. Okay? Even though I talk in the English language, you can know what words are, what the word mean to your ears, but do you know what the meaning of the word? And that's from the Spirit of God. Now, again, the natural person does not accept the things of the Spirit of God, for they are folly to him, meaning that it doesn't make sense. And he is not able to understand them because they are spiritual discerned. That's what I just said. They can't understand what I'm talking about. Now in Hebrews 5:14, it said, but solid food is for the mature, for those who have the power of discernment, trained by constant practice to distinguish good from evil. You understand that? Again, from Hebrews 5:14, it said, but solid food, like I'm talking to you right now, soul food. This solid food is for the mature. Not for the fool. It's for the mature and the wise. For those who have their power of discernment trained by constant practice to distinguish between good and evil. So what I'm talking about, my brothers and sisters, some of you all have been trained through experiences of life. You have been through some ups and downs when it comes to different things of life, especially when it comes to relationships. So you got the experience. Even though things might not have worked out in the past, you got experience. So with the experience, you have knowledge. And with that experience and knowledge, your wisdom is going to show you how to apply your knowledge and your experience because you have understanding through discernment. Now, in Ephesians 1:9, Solomon wrote this. He was inspired to write this. Now, this goes for life and everything, but I'm primarily focusing this on the relationship between men and women. Let's see. What has been again, what have been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Listen to what Solomon said. What has been will be again. That's Sister Teresa, I'm sorry. It's Ecclesiastes 1 through 9. Again, that's Ecclesiastes 1 through 9. I'm sorry, sister, but thank you. What have been will be again. What have been done will be done again. There's nothing new under the sun. So what I'm talking about tonight, my brother and sister, it is nothing foreign from the human experience. Okay? Nothing different from the human experience. And we're talking about relationship. Remember again in Ecclesiastes 1:9, listen carefully before I get into tonight's topic. It said, what has been, that's past, will be again. What has been done, past tense, will be done again, future tense. There is nothing new under the sun. Thank you, Sister Teresa. That was on me, my mistake. Now, let's get to tonight's topic. Definite sign that he or she is seeing someone other than you. Definite signs. My brother and sister, what I'm about to embark on tonight, I know through experience. I know through other people's experience. Some of you have walked the road before where I'm about to go. Some of you are about to go down that road. But if you're here now, you need to listen. You need to really listen and pay attention and get some of this good soul food tonight for dinner. Because I'm going to fill you up. I don't want you to do nothing foolish, my brothers and sisters. Because some of the stuff that I'm going to talk to you about, I have tasted it for you before. I have been down that road. Some people that listen to me, you have been down that road. So listen to what I'm saying, because I don't want you to put your hand on that stove and you think it's cold, but it's hot. If you walk on coal, my brother and sister, you're going to get burnt. If you play with fire, you're going to get burnt. You, my brother, and you, my sister, are no exception to the rule. Neither was I. But I want you to be able. I got a few points that I'm going to make, and take it in, my brother and sister. Take it in, because it's going to help you down the road, okay? Definite sign that he or she is seeing someone other than you. Number one, that man or that woman, they lie all the time. I don't like to use the word all, but I have to say all. That means quite frequently. Very quite frequently. They lie a lot. And they make up excuses. So they do a combo. They lie all the time. And they make up excuses. Their words never go with their actions. And you all know the old phrase, actions speak louder than words. Only Jesus, you can go strictly by his word, minus his action. But we know Jesus has showed plenty of action. But Jesus is the type of person that you could just go by his word, because he has shown you everything what it is. And there are more to come. So Jesus, my brother, and Jesus, my sister, is the only one that you could bank on 100% when it comes to his word. Okay? Now, when it comes to a man and a woman, you're going to get 6. With Jesus, you get 7, because 7 means complete. 6 is almost complete, but it's not complete. Okay? Now, lies. You listen to the person and you watch him or her. You listen and you watch. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You listen. You tone your words down and listen and watch. If you have a scale, when it comes to a man or woman, word and action, the scale is supposed to be balanced. It don't supposed to be this way or this way. When it comes to a man or woman word, it has to balance. If it goes this way in it, or if it sway this way in it, that's inconsistency. Don't fool yourselves. We know from God's word in Isaiah, I believe, it said that you could tell an Ethiopian by the color of his skin. And yeah, that's right, Sister Teresa. It say that an Ethiopian and the color of his skin, that's a fact. And the leopard can't change his spots. That's a fact. Jesus, when Jesus on earth, Jesus said you could tell a tree by the fruit it bears. If you plant an apple seed, what you get? You get an apple. You don't get a pear. You understand? Whatever seed you plant, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to get nothing else. If you plant an orange seed, you're going to get a watermelon? No, you're going to get the seed you plant. Then Maya Angelou, the poet, what did she say? When a person show you who he or she is, believe it. Now, I gave you 3 illustrations on point number 1. Do not go by your feelings, my brothers and sisters. Go by your discernment. Don't be a fool. Cause listen to him or her, and they'll be telling bald-faced lies. They will look you in the eye and lie to you. They will be on the phone and lie to you. They will text you and lie to you. But you know how you could get around those type of people, my brother and sister? You don't even have to bust them up. You don't have to put them on the carpet. You know how to maneuver around them. You don't have to question them about anything. Because the thing about a liar, if you do confront a liar, he or she going to get angry and upset at you because he or she can't deceive you. Most of these type of people are narcissists. They're not going to really tell you they're sorry about nothing because they're going to always have to cover lies. He or she might tell you he or she going to do something. They're not going to come through. They're really not going to come through. If you ask let me give you a good example. If you ask a person out, that's you, brother, you ask a woman out, sister, if you ask a man out, right? You ask him. And that's right, Sister Yolanda Gang, you ask them stuff. Then they'll come up and say, well, I don't feel that good, and I'm just going to chill. And next thing you know, they out with somebody else, and you find out about it. But you don't have to say nothing. You don't have to say nothing. They say that they're gonna come by your house. They don't call, they don't text, they don't nothing. They might not even, then when they call you or text you, you know what they do? They act like nothing ever happened. They ain't no even bring it up. Now, if you bring it up, if you say something like, if you decide to bring it up, but I advise you, don't ask them because they ain't gonna do nothing but lie. Because they did not have enough respect for you, brother. They did not have enough respect for you, sister, to treat you with respect. So if you ask him or her, I thought you said you were going to do this or that. And he or she, they're going to instantly get defensive. This is how these type of people do. They get very defensive. And they get so defensive to the point where they might not feel like they owe you anything. So if you still deal with these type of people, know how to deal with them. You have to know how to go around them. But when I say never take them serious, even if they say they love you. If a man and a woman can't be consistent on the scale, he or she don't even know what love is. They go by love what they see on TV, what they read in magazine, and what they hear on the radio. But they don't know what love is. Because if they knew what love is, they would know to keep their word to you and follow it up with the action. Number 2, this is another thing, my brother and sister. If a man or a woman, how you doing, sister Ron? If a man and a woman supposed to be in a relationship with you, check this out. If you on social media, he or she block you off their page. Why do he or she block you off the page? Is it something on your page he or she doesn't want you to see, but they love you, right? You hear stuff about them. Other people tell you stuff about them, but they won't let you see their page. But they love you, right? Everybody else they friend, they got thousands of friends and don't even know these people. And they got a few people that they'll socialize with. But even if you see a whole bunch of people out there on social media, that don't mean that your friend, that don't mean that you really know them. Teresa, will block you off. Yes, that's right. They will block you off your page. And they'll make it seem like something wrong. Something must be wrong with your page. Nothing ain't wrong with your page. It's something that they doing. They don't want you to see their page. They block you off Instagram, everything. Everything they'll type your name in and block you. But they love you, right? Signs that he or she is seeing someone else. Number 3, when you go out, listen to this. This is a good one, my brother and sister. When you go out with this man or woman, they will not go to a popular hangout. What do I mean? If you go out with a man or a woman, they're not going to go where they could be seen by other people, especially the person that they're dealing with. They don't want to run into nobody where the message get back to the man or woman that they're dealing with. What they would do is they would take you way out so you can't be seen. They don't want to be seen with you in public. They'll prefer to be seen with that other person, but they don't want to be seen with you. But they will give you the impression that y'all have a relationship together. But you don't. Because if somebody really into you, my brother and sister, they really don't mind if other people see you in public. They really don't. They don't mind if people, they got you hid because you are a secret. And you're not a secret lover. You just a secret. The person that they really want to be with is not a secret. But you are a secret. You know less about that person. I'm going to get to that part shortly. I'm going to get to number 4. Now, this is a good one, my brother and sister. This is a jam up one right here. You see this right here? This is a cell phone. They take this boy everywhere with them. If they go to the kitchen, they take this with them. If they go to the bedroom, they take this with them. If they go to the bathroom, they take this boy with them. You know what? Because this is where people keep a lot of secrets at right here. These cell phones. They take it, and let me tell you something else, my brother, so to check this out. If you with a man and a woman, and the phone ring, and he or she answer the phone, listen to me carefully. If he or she answer the phone and get up and walk out, that's an issue. Why he or she cannot talk to the person on the phone around you? Why they can't do it? Answer that question, my brother, sister. Why he or she cannot answer the phone while you are in their presence. Now, they will answer the phone when it's a saved person, like if they brother or son or sister or something like that. But when it's somebody else, that other person, they're going to leave out the room where you're at. They'll say, let me get this call. While he or she cannot talk freely around you. If y'all in a relationship, what he or she got to hide? This is another thing. This cell phone right here. When it comes to texting, this is what they'll do. If they'll send right by you, say for example, someone is sitting right by you right here, right, and they want to text. This is what they'll do. Check this out. They'll lean the phone like this, and then they'll be texting. Why they won't have the phone like this? You know why they won't have the phone like this? Because they think your eyes gonna drift here. If he or she sitting right here and they texting that other person, guess what they're gonna do? They going to lean the phone here. These are signs, my brother and sister, and I'm still on the telephone. And here go another thing, my brother and sister. This is how you could really get them. Say, for example, you say, let me use your phone. They ain't gonna let you use their phone. You see, when you ask a man or woman, let me use your phone, out of the blue, you're gonna get an instant reaction. If he or she don't want you to use his, cause if they start questioning you, what you need my phone for, they trying to buy time so they could come up with excuses and lies. They will say something like, use your phone. What's wrong with your phone? And you say, I want to use your phone. They're not going to want you to use their phones. Because the secrets are in the phones. Like on Facebook, the DMs. And all this other stuff that gets secret. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. A whole bunch of that person's life is on that phone. In text messages, on voice recording and everything. But, let me tell you all something. Let me tell you all something about your brother Tony. Let me tell you something about your brother Tony. If I were interested in someone in the past, I don't have to ask them nothing. You know why? Because I know people, and you all, if you're single, I advise you, if you really want to know something about someone, oh yeah, pictures too, Teresa, thank you. There's some pictures in there they might not want you to see. Brother and sister, let me tell you this. This is what you do. If you know someone, and I'm telling you this, brother and sister, I'm not telling you to snoop, because your name ain't Snoop Dogg. But I'm telling you this. Listen carefully. Come up closely. If you know someone that have access to pull their phone calls and stuff like that, it can be done. I'm telling you, my brother and sister, it could be done if you know the right person. They could pull up their text messages. They could pull up everything. They could pull up numbers for you. Now, some things you could go on the internet and try to help you. But if you know somebody in a key position, you can get a whole bunch of information on that person's phone. And you don't even have to say nothing about it. You know why I know? Because your brother Tony know about it. Let me tell you something, my brother and sister. If I really want to know something about you, I can get that information quickly. All I need to know is your phone number. And I can find out what be coming into your phone, texts, and what's going out. I could tell, and guess what? If some people leave voicemails on the phone, you can listen to their voicemail. I'm telling you, my brother and sister, that kind of stuff is out there. If you really want to know who you were dealing with, I'll give you a situation. The President Richard Nixon. Let me tell you all about President Richard Nixon. I didn't vote for him, but let me tell you about him. Whenever Richard Nixon, some of you all don't know about it, but you're going to find out tonight. Richard Nixon, before he had a person coming into the United States to talk to him, he had a thorough background check. You all know about the Watergate, but this man had a thorough background of everybody that came and met with him. He checked them completely out. It's just like if you're going to work at the White House. If you're going to work at the White House, they have people that come out and get a whole background check on you. That's just how Richard Nixon was. Before you could get authorization into the White House. Don't go by your feelings. How you doing, Sister Twyla? Don't go by your feelings, but trust your discernment because you will be right. Number 5, you can't go to his or her home. That's right, a clearance check, Yolanda, thank you. You can't go to his or her home. You don't even know where he or she stay or live. But he or she know where you live and where you stay. Think about that. Just think about that. You don't know where he or she live, but you got an idea, but you don't know. You've been talking to this person 5, 10 years. You never been to his or her home. He or she said, I'd rather be over your place. You know they go somewhere, but they won't tell you. You know his or her family, he or she know your family and friend. You don't really know nothing about his family and friend. You might not even know where he or she work. You understand? You might not know where he or she works. You definitely don't know where he or she live. He or she know more about you than you know about them. What does that tell you, my brother and sister? Definite signs that he or she is seeing someone else. Now, this is what you can do. What about this? Now, what if you do know where he or she live at? Let's put it that way. Let's say you know where he or she live at. But, he or she insists on coming to where you live at. He or she now never invite you to where they live at. How you doing, little sister? They never tell you where, they don't never invite you to where they live at. They always come to you. They always have excuses. That's when you could do a drive-by. Because you don't want to waste your time and stuff, my brother and sister. You want to do a drive-by. He or she said they love you and stuff. He or she said that you all have a one-on-one relationship. Yolanda said, you see, yeah, somebody hit a car. They do stuff like that. They do stuff like that. Number 6, you can't reach him or her but at certain times. You can't reach him or her but at certain times. My brother and sister, everyone have pattern and behavior. Everyone have pattern and behavior. You know, sometimes, my brother and sister, when he or she call or text you, you respond kind of in a respectable way. You know, like I said, everyone got pattern behavior. All you have to do is study it, my brother and sister. This is not psychology, that's the mind. This is sociology, the pattern and behavior. Every man, every woman have pattern behavior. You can reach him or her at certain time, and certain times you can't. That telling you that someone else is in the picture. Because he or she tried to be consistent, but it's no consistent, because when it be consistency, it just go like this. By the way, you all have seen the show called Cheaters, right? You ever notice this? When you look at the show Cheaters that's filmed in Texas, that don't mean that everybody in Texas doing things, but it's just a show. If you ever notice, men and women find out that somebody's seeing somebody else, right? How do they do this? Before they call the people at Cheaters, what do? They start noticing changes in the pattern and behavior. You understand? They understand pattern and behavior, because when they get up there in front of that little green screen, they start talking about the person that they was in a relationship, right? Correct? That's what they do. What they start doing, they normally talk about the positive and good things in the relationship. Then you have to listen to the contrast. They'll say, but, or however, or they'll say he or she changed, and they start doing this. So that person noticed the pattern of change, pattern in behavior. That person, maybe that person that you're dealing with, maybe his or her relative or friend may know about this other person, but you the last person know, because you the person that he or she don't want to confront. Out of everybody, they don't want you to confront them. You can only reach them at certain times. And they won't explain nothing to you. But they want to be able to reach you when you get ready, and then they will ask you, why you didn't call me? Did you see my number? Did you see my text? But when you send him or her text, they don't respond all the time. They might respond the other day, but then again, you can tell when they see your text because you see where they got read. But they want you to respond just like that. Number 7, if he or she is married, he or she will more than likely try to hide their rings. Not everyone, but he or she, if they don't want you to know that they're married, they will hide their ring. This is what they'll do. They'll take these rings off, and they hope that that indent don't be around their fingers. You see, like that, like mine. I know I'm dog. You might could see that little indent. They would take them off. Or if they be around you, they will like do this with their hand, or they'll put their hand where you can't notice that ring. It's a lot of people that are married, but they don't want you to know that they're married. That's right, brother. Respond to your text or call the next morning saying, Brother Moses, thank you for saying that, brother. You are right. You are right, brother. Brother, you're right. Let me tell y'all something. Like Brother Moses say, and this is true, brother. They will. You can text them, and they don't respond to the next day. You can call them, and they don't respond to the next day. What they tell you? He or she got somebody else that they're seeing. Cheryl said they are straightforward today. Some of them are, but there's a lot of them that are not straightforward. It's a lot of them that are not straightforward. Number 8. He or she will run a guilt trip on you when he or she is seeing somebody else. They will say they believe you seeing somebody. I believe you seeing somebody. That's what they'll say. I believe you, and they will accuse you of things. Most of the time when someone come down on you, brother and sister, and if you're not doing nothing, that means that he or she is seeing someone else, and they got this guilt complex. Don't go by your feelings, but trust your discernment because you're right. Number 9, he or she is very secretive and doesn't talk to you about his or her life. He or she know a lot about your life, but you don't know nothing about him. Not only do you don't know where he or she stay at, not only do you know probably where they work at, you don't know their family, you don't know their friend. All you know is this person, Mr. or Mrs. Ghost. He or she appear and then they disappear. They know all, and then when you ask them questions, they always be indirect. They never direct. Never direct. They indirect. Number 10. He or she will hang out with others. He or she always say things like, I'm hanging with my friend or friends, to try to throw you off. That's why you have to listen. I'm hanging out with a friend. When somebody say, I'm hanging out with a friend, warning. When someone say, I'm hanging out with friends, warning, because somebody could be hanging out with somebody and they try to throw you off by saying, I'm hanging out with friends. Or, I'm hanging out with a friend. Because most of the time, it may be detailed. Check this out, my brother and sister. Like, for example, if I go out with someone, my brother and sister, listen to this. If you are accustomed to me calling out someone's name, I'm going with, I got this friend named Demetrius, right? If I say I'm going out with Demetrius, okay, or I'm going out with Brian, I'm going out with my wife. You see how detailed I'm getting? And you used to me being detailed. But when I don't be detailed, now you used to me being detailed, right? But when I start saying I'm going out with a friend, most of the time, I ain't saying all of the time, but most of the time, he or she is going with someone else. Most of the time, because normally they direct, but why they're not direct now? Number 11, when you ask him or her what they are doing today, and he or she is vague, listen to what I'm saying. This go with secrecy. This go for being indirect. When you ask him or her what he or she doing today, and they constantly say things like, remember, like if you normally talk to them, I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to Kroger's. Example of being direct. Listen to what I'm saying, my brothers. If they know how to talk to you direct, but then listen. They get vague and they constantly say stuff like, I got a few stops to make. I got a few errands to run. I got some business to take care of, when most of the time he or she be detailed. You understand what I'm saying, my brother and sister? They be detailed most of the time, but when they really don't know, when they try to throw you off, in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, they're going to see somebody else. They don't want you to know. But remember what I said earlier, my brother and sister? I'm telling you, my brother and sister, listen to this. Remember what I said earlier. If you know a person's phone number and you know someone in the right place, if you're dealing with someone and you not going by your feeling, but you got this thing going on and you know he or she being shady with you, right? You don't have to bust him or her. You don't have to do it. If you know someone in the right place, their phones, all you need to know their phone numbers. And when you know their phone numbers, my brothers and sisters, all you have to do is you could retrieve that information quickly. You understand? And you could read their text messages. Like I said, you could read their text message, who they be texting, who be coming in. Like I said, if they have voicemail, you could listen to their voicemail. How do you think How do you think the government and everything do stuff like that? They got people that does that kind of stuff. If you want, I don't recommend it unless you're trying to, if you have trust with this person, you don't have to bust them all the time. Let them lie. And you know how to maneuver around them. Sometimes, my brother, sister, you could play stupid. If they tell you something, all you have to do is say, okay. And you have all this knowledge. Number 12, they tell you about someone is interested in him or her. A man may tell a woman, this woman is interested in me. This woman might say, this man is interested in me. But when you listen, remember I said you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. The man was tell a woman, this woman interested in me. He telling his girlfriend or his wife, this woman interested in me. But yet, he got her contact information. Or she could tell her husband or boyfriend, this man interested in me. Making it seem like he doing all the lead work, or vice versa, she doing all the lead work. But yet they got that person contact information. You see, when it comes to math, my brother and sister, 1 + 1 always equal 2. It never equal 3. Never. Like I always say, if you was in math class and you put 1 + 1 = 3, you turn your paper into the teacher, she's gonna give you an X. Ain't no way you're gonna convince that teacher that 1 + 1 = 3. Even if you feel that way, it never's gonna work. And that's how it is when it comes to people pattern and behavior, my brother and sister. They try to make you believe that 1 + 1 = 3. If you go by your feeling, you would say, well, it's a possibility that it does equal 3. It never does, my brother and sister. Don't go by your feeling, but trust your discernment when you because you are always right. Let me tell you this, my brother and sister. Listen to this. Remember what I said about discernment. Let me go back. I told you, my brother and sister, discernment is defined as to distinguish between things, the conditions of understanding, perception, and discernment, and judging objectively. Wisdom. How do you get wisdom? To know how to apply, to get this discernment. According to James 1:5, it said, if any lack wisdom, let him ask God. What is wisdom? The wisdom is the ability to see things from God's point of view. You don't want to ask God to be smart. You don't want to ask God to make you be articulate. You ask God for wisdom, because that's the principal thing. That's what Solomon asked God. When you ask God for wisdom, when you ask God for stuff for his kingdom and stuff, God give you things what you don't ask for. Just like when he appealed to Solomon in his dream, the Lord said, what can I do for you? Solomon could have asked for long life. He could have asked for his enemies. He could have asked to be rich. Some of you out there like to go to play lotto every day. He didn't ask to play lotto and all that other stuff. Solomon didn't ask for it. Solomon said, give me an understanding heart. So that impressed God. And the Lord said, not only am I going to do that, I'm going to set you up to be what no man had ever been before, and no man going to rise after you. You all have heard of Elon Musk, right? They say he's the richest man in the world, right? Elon Musk didn't have nothing on King Solomon. Solomon was the richest man, if you look at it from a material standpoint, to ever live. If you want to say a man had it going on with women, Solomon had it going on. Solomon had 1,000 of them. It's documented. Solomon had 1,000 women. If you want to look at it that way. Solomon had the best of the best. Solomon was a king of a nation, not Elon Musk. There's no man that rose and was as popular as King Solomon in his days. But what did Solomon have what all of them did not have? Solomon had wisdom. Brother and sister, when you deal with a member in life, but we're talking about relationship, when you deal with a man and woman, remember this, my brother and sister, there's nothing new under the sun. How do I know? I'm going to tell you how I know. When it came to game, I knew how to play the game. When I was single, I knew how to play the game. I played the game and the game got played against me. Anytime you sit at a table to play poker, you can sit down with a poker face. Because when people sit down to play, that's where the phrase poker face comes from. Because people look at your face so they can see what kind of card you have in your hand. So you keep a straight face. So they cannot read your body language. You understand? So let me tell you about being a player, my brother. So let me tell you about being a player. That's right, Sister Yolanda. You can't play. Let me tell you all about being a player. I used to do that. I have played and I have been played. You see, when you decide to sit at the table to be a player, you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. When you get tired of doing that, you're going to put the cards on the table and say, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. I'm just tired of it. So if you standing around being a bystander and you have been at the table before, my brother and sister, you know how the other people that sitting at the table playing, because at the poker table, you have men and women that sit at the poker table when it comes to relationships. So a person that have been at the poker table of relationship know the game. You're not going to throw nobody off that have played the game. Because you see, the thing about somebody that played the game, they won't let you know everything that he or she know because they done been there before. They done walked that road before. They have had some quote-unquote successes and they have had some failures. They learned a lot from losing too. Let me tell y'all something, my brother and sister. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. What impressed me a lot when I was out there in the world, and some women that I dealt with, there was a few that were legit. Just a few that were legit, small in number. When I say small in number, let's say 10 women. Out of 10, it were probably 3 that were legit. The other ones, they tried to play the game. Trying to pretend that they're innocent. Oh, I'm innocent. Everybody, all these men, they always taking advantage of me. Woe is me, woe is me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. They always doing me wrong. And you catch them in lies. You catch them in lies. They say they're going to do one thing, they do another. They tell you that they need something, but they really say they want something. Because they were trying to test. They were trying to test to see what I would do. If I had walked down that road before, I knew what to do. And I have told you all this, and I'm going to tell you again. Sister Flo have heard it. Sister Shara have heard it. Some of you have heard it. My sister have heard it. My mama have heard it. Well, I'm going to tell you again. Being played. A chapter out of my life. When I was in college, I didn't have that much money. This young lady asked me out on a date. We went to this, during that time, it was a little 5-star restaurant where I live at, right? At this particular place, you had to have reservations. It was a requirement, and you were going to dress to go in there. You could not call them just like that and get reservation. No, you had to have reservation days before you got there. This young lady, she asked me, she said, Tony, I want to take you to this establishment. I said, cool. She did the invite. I'm single. She's single. She called me. I won't bother her. So we went to the restaurant. When you go to the restaurant, they call you, they put those sir things in front, Mr. and Mrs. and all that kind of stuff. Real one of those who-to-do places. We went and sat down and ate. The food was good and it was very high. It was very high, brothers and sisters. Very high. But she was a nice little girl. She was nice. She tried to be sincere. We ate. We talked. Ate and talked. Nice music. Nice people. Everything. The waiter came over and he said, did you all, and he had his hand like this, did you all enjoy your meal? Madam, did you enjoy your meal? Sir, did you enjoy your meal? Yeah. Okay, here go the receipt. Woo! Wow. That receipt. Wow. I said, wow, when I seen that receipt. I said, woo. And she said, you got that, right? I said, huh? She said, you got that, right? I said, what you mean? I said, you invited me. She said, but you the man. I'm in college. I'm young and dumb. I went ahead and took it like a man and bought it. But it set me back for a while when I had to pay for all of that. So I learned something at that point, my brothers and sisters. I learned at that point. Remember, I have been down that road before. Now let's go back to the future. Some years went by. I done walked down that road before. Remember this phrase right here, my brother and sister. Remember this. In Ecclesiastes 1:9, again, Ecclesiastes 1:9, Ecclesiastes 1:9 say, what have been will be again. See what God's word said? What have been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. That's God's word. Now back to my story. Years went by. I'm a young adult. I'm coming in from out of town in my car. A young damsel called me. When she called me, she said, what's up, Tony? What you doing? And I said, I'm just getting back in time. She said, why don't you swing by and we're going to go to this restaurant. It's on me. I went to the restaurant. I ain't think nothing more about it. I said, hey, I could stop by there and see her. So I went to the restaurant with this lady. We ate. That was a nice place where we went to, right? So we got finished eating. And she was drinking all those expensive drinks and stuff. She ordered the highest priced food and stuff on the menu. She was eating good. I was eating good. And then the waiter came to our table. You know, at one time they used to put the receipt closer to the man, but now they put it kind of in the middle of the table most of the time. So that sister would not pick up that receipt. So the waiter left, and I ordered some tea, and then he came back second time and said, anything else I can help you all with? I said, no. She still didn't touch that receipt. She kept on talking, but she would not catch that. She would not touch that receipt. Kept on talking. So I said, bring me some more tea. He went and came back. Is there anything else I can help you all with? Anything else? I said, then I picked up the receipt. I picked up the receipt, my brother and sister, and I picked it up and I looked at it. I said, woo. And she said, why are you giving me that? Why are you giving me that receipt? I said, because you invited me. I said, you invited me here. And she said, you the man. Remember, I heard that years ago when I went to college, and it stuck to me. What did verse say? Ecclesiastes 1:9 said, what have been will be again. But it was just with another person. What have been done will be done again. There's nothing new on the song. So it wasn't nothing new. I have walked down this road before. So you're a fool if you don't learn from stuff, okay? If you do it again, you're just a fool. But I had a remedy for it, because at that time in the past, I made up my mind how I was going to handle that if it happened again. It took years, but it came up again with another person. So she said, you the man. Because that's some women. Let me tell you something. It ain't that I was stingy. That wasn't it. I'm single. She's single. Let me say something to you, brother, sister, right now. If you invite somebody out, male or female, you should fund the dinner or whatever. If you're doing it. It's some women that think if I invite the man out, it's still on him. That's what some women think. It's still on him because he's the man. No, if you're not married to the person, brothers, if you're not married to the person, sister, you don't owe them nothing. You only owe somebody something when you get married. Now, if you're going to be entertaining and stuff like that, there ain't nothing wrong with that, but be respectful. Don't try to hoodwink nobody. Don't try to trick them. You understand? Don't try to do that. But back to the story. She said, you the man. I said, you right, I am the man. And then that waiter was standing there. I said, you see this, and this. I'm paying for it. The rest of it, she paying for it. She got quiet. All that bubbly talking, all that laughing and stuff, she got real serious then. And then she had those alligator arms. She acted like she couldn't reach her pocketbook. You know, it was something wrong with her arm. I was saying this, she gonna bust some dishes back there because Tony ain't paying for nothing. I ain't paying for nothing. You're not gonna bring that little trickery stuff on me. Did we talk again? No, we didn't talk again. For those that want to know, no, we didn't talk again. I know she probably told her friend, Tony's stingy. She didn't tell her friends that she invited me. She didn't tell that part. And let me tell you something, brothers. Brother, on the flip side, when you take a woman out, she don't owe you no sex. Some of you brothers, you think because you take a woman out, she owe you some sex when you done bought her that Applebee's special. Or it might not be Applebee's. You could go to the Crystal. Some of you guys, this is how some of you guys, so let me tell you what the guys do these days. Let me tell you what the guys do these days. A lot of them would prefer to take you, they would ask you to meet them at a bar so they could buy you a drink. They may ask you to go to, they might say, let's go to Starbucks. They may say, meet me at the park. Meet me at the track field. Meet me at the gym. All those things don't have that much money into it. But even though a lot of these guys saying meet me for a drink, Meet me at Starbucks, meet me at the gym and all that. They still want something at the back end. So you got players, you got guys trying to get something out of women. Most of the time it's sex. And then some guy want the sex and the material stuff. And then you got a whole bunch of women. They just want the material stuff, no sex. And you got the men want sex, no finance. You understand? That's the big game, my brother and sister, that's being played. And people playing up, even up to 60 years old and 70, they still playing those kind of games. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. But tonight, my brother and sister, tonight's topic, definitely sign that he or she is seeing someone other than you. Go by your discernment, my brother and sister. Don't go by your feeling. Because you go by your feeling, you could be wrong. Go by your discernment. Because every man and every woman have pattern and behavior. There's a saying out there that men cheat more than women. That's the saying. According to some statistics, it appears like men cheat more than women, according to statistics. But just let's say this man is a legitimate man and the woman is a legitimate woman. Who is the man cheating with? Another woman. Most women know that the man's seeing someone else, and most men know that the woman's seeing someone else. You can tell it. All you have to do is take your feeling out and see what's going on in front of you. Remember I said to take the scales out. Listen to what he or she say and watch his or her action. The scale got to be balanced. If it tilt any way, you got somebody that you got to zero in on if you want to go down the road with them. But my recommendation, my brother and sister, when someone got a scale that go up and down like that, you don't want to waste your time with those type of people. It's a waste of your time and your energy, my brother and sister. Brother and sister, when it comes to getting a relationship with a man and woman, you need to focus on, I want to be serious with somebody, because when you date someone, my brother and sister, you have a purpose in life, and you got to understand what your purpose is. Where do you get your purpose from? You get your purpose from God, because God gives you a gift. You don't have time to play, my brothers and sisters, when it comes to life in general, especially when it comes to relationship. There's some brothers and sisters, they playing with each other time. They play. They pretend that they're serious. They pretend that they're committed, but they're neither one of them. They're wearing masks. My brother and sister, majority of men and women, they wear masks. The person that you normally be, the person that you are dealing with, some of your brothers and sisters, that's the person that person projecting to you. Like when you first go on a date, my brother and sister, you don't know the real person. That's not the real person that you see. You see the person representative. Just like when somebody, it's just like a job interview. If you were going to hire someone, my brother and sister, okay, you look at the resume. Okay, the resume look good. Got a pretty good track record. They've been employed there for a long time. They're not a job skipper. You call and do all that background check. Then you get the person in front of you and talking to that person. And then you get that person 3 months. You see, do we have something here? Before I go all in. Because the employer don't know you. You don't know the employer. That's why you have to do your research. When companies hire you, most of the time they do research. Why is it when you go to the company, most of you don't do no research, you just want a job? Why you don't do a research if you're going to spend your time there to see what they're about? The same thing when it comes to a relationship, my brother and sister. You got to do your research. You ask them, and then you do your own research. Don't just take things at face value. We have, my brother and sister, we have technology Don't go by the pretty face, brother, and that fine body. Sister, don't go by that handsome face and that trim beard, that trim beard and those six packs. Don't go by that. God don't even go by that. God go by the heart. God does not go by the appearance. Why do you, brother, go by her appearance? It's going to fade away, going to go south. Sister, why you go by his appearance and his money? He might go bankrupt. Why are you doing that? You supposed to get into that person, who that person really is. So when you date, my brother and sister, you don't date for your benefit. Because some people say, I want to see what he or she brings to the table. What you bringing to the table. Are you coming to the table 100%? Or do you want this person to come in 80% and you giving 20? Or this person bringing 70 and you giving 30, or vice versa. He or she want 20. I mean, he or she giving you 20 and you giving 80. He or she giving 30, you giving 70. No, the perfect thing is 50-50, right? That's a bunch of bull, my brother and sister. That's a bunch of crap. When a man and woman get serious, committed, and go to the covenant part relationship, you're supposed to be 100. The man's supposed to bring 100. The woman's supposed to bring 100. It goes all the way back to the story in the Bible. God said, not good for man to be alone. And also it say in the New Testament Corinthians, it say that the man was not created for the woman, but the woman for the man. That's what God's words say. The world say different things. What you gonna do? You gonna go by God's word or the world word? Definite sign that he or she is seeing someone else. Don't fool yourself, my brother and sister. I have given you some good examples. It ain't all, but those are main ones that I gave to you. So if you don't want to get burnt, go by your discernment. Don't follow your heart. The Bible clearly says in Jeremiah, the heart is deceivable above all things. If you're going to go 100% with your heart, that goes to Jesus. When it comes to a man and woman, don't never put no man or no woman on a pedestal. I'm married, but I don't put my wife on no pedestal. She don't put me on a pedestal. Jesus is going to always come before my wife. And with her, Jesus is going to come before me. I would never put my wife or nobody or nothing before Jesus. That's where you go wrong, my brother and sister. If you let me tell you something, my brother and sister. The most important relationship is your relationship with God through Jesus the Christ. That's the relationship that you got to be on point with. That's the most important relationship, my brother and sister, because Jesus will never leave you. Jesus will never play games with you. Jesus is straight up. You talk about 100. Jesus is 100. No man is 100. No woman is 100. But if a man and woman in Christ, they're going to strive to be 100. My brother and sister, I hope that you enjoyed tonight's dinner. I hope that you did, because I served that soul food up for you, okay? I love you, brother and sister. I hope that you all have a good. Until next time, technical difficulty.